Most speakers force you to design around them, but the Arendal 1528 Slim 8s flip that around. This is a high-end speaker you can fit anywhere, and it still sounds incredible.
Whether you want clean on-the-wall fronts, compact surrounds, or even a desktop setup that looks premium, this one can do it all. This is the reason why the 1528 Slim 8s can be the most versatile speaker you can buy.
Let's do this. Well, welcome to today's episode, everyone. Well, we got a pretty exciting one for our viewers out there. And real quick, if you're new to this channel, welcome. If you like what you see, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button. And if you don't subscribe, that's okay, as long as you hit a like. That really helps us support our channel. But Ralph, we got a very interesting episode today. We are once again talking about Arendal Sound speakers.
Oh, yeah.
I know that for those of you that have been following us for a while, we went on a long hiatus. And then when we came back, the very first episode that we made was on your Arendal Sound complete 1723 THX setup. I know that was a mouthful. And we'll put the link in the description or card above us if you want to go back and watch that review.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we have another interesting set of speakers that we're doing for Arendal Sound here. And they were kind enough to send these to us for a review. So I just want to throw that disclaimer out there. They did provide us these speakers. Yeah, we want to provide our honest review out there, so that way if people are interested in looking at these or considering buying them or how they want to use them, because that's kind of the meat of this video, right? The versatility. Hopefully this comes to be very valuable for you. But yeah, Ralph, I think what we'll do is we'll separate this into 5 parts. First, we're going to get into the build and design of the speaker. Then we'll do a quick tech spec rundown, like we always do in our videos. Sound quality, use case, and versatility. Like, in what settings would you actually use these? And then we'll get into our final thoughts and give you our honest opinions of, what we think they should primarily be used for and who these would be perfect for.
Absolutely.
I guess for the first part of the video, let's get into build and design, Ralph.
So, I mean, right off the bat, as soon as I took them out of the box, I've noticed that, they already have that 28 millimeter tweeter with the 5-inch mid-range driver action, and they're really segmented together in that speaker. Now, they do have a VESA mount in the back of it, so you can plug them onto the wall or whatever. The other thing to do is they're wave guided as well. These are time aligned. All the 1528s are all time aligned speakers. These are the slims, however, and this one is actually 20 centimeters thick. The other thing that I've noticed about these two, when you look at the back of it, plugs are actually on the top of the speaker, not in the bottom. So that's something to keep in consider because the VESA mount is underneath it. But what is your impressions with these speakers when you first saw these?
I mean, I really like how they look. It doesn't look like it from the front, but when you do look at it from the side, these are super slim.
Yes.
They're, compared to a lot of bookshelves that we've done reviews for over the years, these are definitely more than half the thickness of those speakers. In terms of build quality, I wouldn't expect anything different from Arendal. They build really good products. This is another one of those that you can tell they put a lot into it. I really like that wave guide and that baffle too, that curvature to it. It really does give it a really sleek, modern look.
The other thing to keep in mind too, folks, is that these are not like your usual bookshelves. They're actually kind of heavy. So just to keep that in mind.
These are about 50 pounds.
Yeah, they're pretty heavy.
Yeah, they don't look like it from the side, but yeah, they are heavy.
Absolutely.
Well, that was a pretty good tech spec rundown, Ralph. But yeah, let's get into a very important part of the video, which is the sound quality of these speakers. So why don't you go ahead and get started with them?
All right, well, let's get into it, bro. Well, I'm going to tell you right off the bat. This is a really crisp tweeter. The mid-ranges are actually kind of lifelike. They really sound really good. I just couldn't believe, like, when I put them in stereo mode or whatever mode that I put them on, you can hear the mids really, really well. The bass was great. You put them close to the wall or even wall mount them onto the wall, that's where you're going to get the bass out of these speakers. You don't want to have them pushed out into the room because you're going to lose that bass. Pair them up with a subwoofer, it makes it even better. The other thing too about these is that they're kind of tricky the way they place them because they have a really narrow soundstage. They're not designed for like wide dispersion. I mean, you have to get them like tuned in like in your viewing area, which is the way they're designed, right? But like I said, these speakers do sound really, really good. They're very accurate, and that's pretty much it, bro. What do you think?
Yeah, I was very impressed with the sound quality that came out of the speakers. Just because they're slim, you think, hey, this is losing some. There's got to be losing something to make these slimmer than normal bookshelf speakers.
Right.
I did not get that impression whatsoever. They sounded like very good, high-quality bookshelves.
Yep.
very comparable to a lot of the ones that we've done on this channel. And yeah, I mean, if we didn't know that they were a very slim form factor, I wouldn't have been able to tell a difference. I do agree with you though. I did notice that the further away from the wall, you lose a lot of the bass. That's kind of typical for bookshelves anyway.
Yeah.
But these even more so. So I do want to call that out specifically to our viewers. And you're right. When you have them closer to the wall or even wall mounted, that's where the full range of these speakers are going to shine. All right, Ralph, that is awesome. Hopefully that helped to explain these speakers, just everything from the build quality to the tech specs and then to the sound quality. What I want to do now is get into kind of the meat of the video, which is the versatility and use case. If you go to a Arendal site, they say you can use these for a front stage stereo, front stage surround sound system. You can use them as a surround sound speaker. You can use them as height channels. You can use them as front wides. You can use them in any type of scenario.
Yeah.
And you actually having these for a while, you put that to the test because you were able to do that. So why don't you go ahead and tell our viewers out there the story of how you use these speakers in the setup.
You know, when I first got these speakers, when I took them apart, well, not physically took them apart, but I took them out of the box, you know, I was just like, hey, let me just try them out in stereo mode just to give them a test. And yeah, they sounded pretty good in stereo mode, to be honest with you. I tried them in different scenarios. I put them close to me as a near field. I put them really close to the wall. Obviously, putting them closer to the wall gave me more bass output, believe it or not. When I took them away from the wall, obviously the bass was lost. But what was really cool about these is that I never lost the tweeter in the mid-range with these speakers, which is really, really unique about these speakers. So I was just like, you know what? Let me try them as a center channel. So I put them as a center channel. Sounded really good. Again, the detail was there. The crispness of this tweeter was there. I then tried...
Actually, Ralph, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So, you know, because a lot of people might thinking, like, you hooked them up as a center channel.
Yeah.
So what made you think of hooking them up as a center channel?
Okay. I actually watched another person use this as a center channel speaker. But the way they set them up was actually to put them as a horizontal look, but I had mine on the stand with the vertical look. To be honest with you, I mean, these sound pretty good as a center channel. Then I tried them as front wides. Front wides, these sounded pretty good. I placed them as surround sounds. I think they sounded great for surround sounds, to be honest with you. It was like allocated, which was really cool because like when things were flying behind me and stuff like that, I was just like, oh wow, that sounded really, really good. You know, that's pretty much it, bro. I mean, that's how versatile that these speakers are, to believe it or not. I mean, you can use them in any scenario that you can possibly think of.
Well, that's pretty cool, Ralph. You know, if we missed anything in the video, I think this is probably our opportunity. So let's get into some final thoughts.
Absolutely, bro.
And we'll start with honest opinions about these speakers. Let's start with you, Ralph. What are your final thoughts, honest opinion about these speakers?
For Arendal, yes, I think they made a really good design with these speakers. These speakers are very versatile, like you said with the meat of the video. If I can replace these for my surround sounds, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Absolutely. What about you, bro?
Yeah, Ralph, you know, I would agree. I think they are very versatile, and I see what Arendal was trying to do with the design and the slimness of this speaker, right? They wanted to create some speakers that anybody can have a turnkey solution to any type of home theater configuration.
Right.
Whether that's just if you just want a 2-channel setup, or if you need something that is more of a slim form factor, like you don't want to go like an in-wall solution because you're afraid of going in the wall, or you can't, maybe you don't have the option of going into the wall, right? Yep. So this would be your actually next step solution to that. Somebody like me, I'm very minimalistic when it comes to my home theater. I don't really want bulky additional pieces of furniture. And sometimes you don't want that bulkiness of overcrowding the space. So these would be perfect for that. Now, in terms of surround sound, I agree. Compared to the other surrounds that you have, these are way better. If you're a person who currently has a Arendal home theater setup and you're looking for some surrounds to replace maybe some older surrounds that you have, I think these would be it.
Oh, absolutely. I think very, 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 very much so they would be it, bro. Otherwise, you know, I think these speakers are fantastic. Honestly, they sound great. They get lost in the soundstage, which is awesome. When you play them in stereo mode or surround or whatever it is that you do, they sound fantastic. Is there anything you want to note to these, brother?
I definitely would recommend them, and I think anybody would be happy with these speakers. But you know what, Ralph? I think that concludes our video.
Absolutely. So make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification button.
And as always,
keep it hi-fi.